Abdul in Hammersmith. Hello, Abdul.
Hello, good morning. I've got a question regarding the rise of Islamophobia, and I don't hear many politicians talking about this, that the Muslim community in the UK feel vulnerable. We feel targeted because of what's going on overseas, and we feel that we're living under scrutiny 24/7. I mean, I have my wife that can't even go down to the shops without people saying things at her, swearing at her. And what are you going to do regarding keeping the Muslim community safe in the UK?
So what was the last bit, Abdul?
What are you going to do about keeping Muslim communities safe in the UK?
So Abdul, I think the great tragedy is you are quite rightly saying that many law-abiding Muslim Britons are feeling that they are somehow being regarded with suspicion because of the horrific violence committed in the name of Islam, completely sort of by this perverted ideology, which is actually appropriating and misappropriating Islam elsewhere in the world. And at the same time, as we also know, you have parents in our Jewish communities who are feeling quite unsure about what's going to happen to their kids when they drop them off at school. Are they being properly protected? This is the great tragedy, is that all different communities are feeling increasingly insecure, and the role of the government, of course, is to make sure that all communities are as properly protected as possible. So, for instance, I said this week that I thought certainly any government of which the Liberal Democrats are part in the future, and I very much hope, frankly, any government of any political persuasion will continue the funding that is provided via something called the Community Security Trust to Jewish faith schools to make sure they're properly protected. But I said at the same time, and of course we should look at extending the same kind of protection to Muslim faith schools where there are security issues around that as well. So of course we have a duty, Abdul, as you said, as a government, to make sure that all communities, regardless of their background, their ethnicity, their religion, feel safe in modern Britain. At the same time, though, of course, we all need to unite together, don't we, Abdul? I'm sure you agree on this. And this was the subject of this conference where President Obama spoke overnight in Washington, and say unambiguously that there is nothing Islamic about so-called Islamic State. It is, in fact, it is a medieval perversion of a faith which is held dear by many, many millions of law-abiding Muslims around the country, around the world.
Abdul?
Which is true, but do you not think the right-wing media is making it worse in trying to fight this ideology that this is not what Islam is about, and they're still portraying Islam in such a negative light? And then what can be done regarding the media's stance on Islamophobia? Because we do feel the media is very Islamophobic.
Well, look, I mean, of course you need to keep the perverted terrorist medieval ideology of ISIL completely separate from Islam. It has nothing to do with...
Abdul's worried about the media, media portrayal.
Look,
you wouldn't want the government necessarily controlling
I'm not going to start telling the media what to write. Of course not. That's not what you want in a free society, Abdul. But I tell you what I do strongly feel, and I suspect you will believe this as well, is that actually one of the people who speak most powerfully about what Islam really is, rather than the way it's been perverted and misappropriated by terrorists, are moderate, law-abiding Muslim Britons. And the more that you and others, Abdul, can say, this is nothing to do with my faith. It's in fact an outrage to Muslim Britons that Islam is being invoked in that way by ISIL and others. I think that has a very powerful effect as well.
All right, Abdul, thank you.